There are so many versions of the English Bible, never mind languages all over the world. How do you decide which version to read? We're gonna dive and show you a cool chart about the different versions of the Bible and which one will help you.
Over 90% of our viewers are not even subscribed yet. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and make sure you get caught up on videos like this. They're gonna help you in your faith journey.
We wanna get right into it. Don't go anywhere. Let's see the chart. Bring up the chart for us, Curtis.
Types of Bible translations. So on this chart, there's a spectrum, right? A spectrum of what's word for word translated from the original text versus what is more paraphrased, maybe something easier for us to understand in this time in America or English translation at this current moment. What we read right now from the more paraphrased versions is going to be much different from the older text, the older manuscripts that are from further ago.
That's really good. I love this chart, and it tells us, as you can see here, like the message is all the way on the paraphrase side, and then the popular one on the left side is the NSAB and the amplified, which we're going to cover. And it's good to know like which one's paraphrased, which one's thought for thought and word for word. And as you guys know, the one that's like the most popular and easy to understand if you're just starting off is the NIV, right in the smacking middle of the chart. And the NIV is beautiful. I grew up when I became a Christian, I grew up as a kid reading the NIV because it was simple, it was straightforward, and a lot of times it's like the language that the coded verses are in, the most popular way, and it's just so good for your brain to read them the way these verses are. And I think it's a good pathway to starting your journey in reading the Bible.
I agree. I personally read the NIV growing up as a kid, and I read it was like the Children's Adventure Bible or something like that from the NIV.
Fun.
Love the NIV. I've always read from the NIV. Now I want to touch on why, it's so easy to understand. I think when you step into the original King James Version and then you read the NIV side by side, you see why the NIV is so much easier to understand. The original King James Version is so archaic and it sounds like you're reading something from Shakespeare, honestly.
I want to touch on that point. Speaking of the King James versions, yes, a lot of like your grandma, your great grandma, or people that are a little bit older, usually be like, there are even a lot of churches be like, you only got to read the King James Version because that's the first version, that's the original version, that's the most accurate. I'll make a suggestion for you guys watching this video. How about the NKJV, the New King James? That's what I read currently, Curtis, and I like it because it's more, if you see on the chart, it's more on the word for word, so it's more of the original text, but it's in the New King James Version, so it's really easier to understand, and I'm getting the original context, but it's in a way that my brain can absorb it, and I think it's beautiful.
I think that's great. I think it's kind of meshing the closeness of the King James Version to earlier text with modern language, from what I understand, which is great, and that's what we love to see.
If you read any of these versions, just let us know in the comments, or if you're not reading any of the versions, just let us know where you're at in your journey, and we'll love to help and reply back to every single... Curtis, we're gonna make a commitment. We're gonna reply to every single comment on this video.
Every comment?
We're not even gonna miss one. I wanna bring you to the next point, right? Get into it to honor your time. The Amplified. The Amplified is really cool. It's in depth. It's breaking down the context of the verses, and in brackets, it really explains it. So really cool if you want to be a little bit more in depth. It's a little bit longer, but I like in the brackets, it really explains the point. What do you think about the Message Bible, Curtis?
The Message Bible, I think, can be helpful. However, I think you need to pair it with a different version that is more so on the word for word spectrum than the paraphrase spectrum like the Message.
That's exactly true. What you don't see the chart in the chart here, the Passion. I wonder why it's not on the chart.
What's the Passion?
That's a joke. If you know, you know. It's important to read the Bible. Read any version, but read the Bible. Also recommend for Bible studies, you get a commentary Bible that has commentaries at the bottom with footnotes that tells you about the context of the stories and what's the details on it and how it relates to the rest of the Bible. I have a study Bible. I think it's amazing. You should get one. It really enriches you reading the Bible.
That's great, Marwan. And if you enjoyed this video and the value this brought to you in your faith journey, what it means to read the different versions of the Bible and maybe what version is best for you to read right now on your faith journey. Watch this next video. We're going to talk about how to find a home church, how to find a church you regularly attend, what you should be looking for, what you should be aware of and maybe avoid when you're making that decision of finding a home church.